Okay.
Hi there, it's Zale, and today we're talking about sustainability business. And there's a fellow on LinkedIn who I've been back and forth with all the time, which is Joe Swartz, who comes from a entirely different world than I do, and we disagree on LinkedIn frequently. But yeah, really smart guy, really knows his stuff, and he's really kind of cool, and another direct competitor to what I'm doing. So this is going to be another great conversation. Joe Swartz, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do and a little bit about your history so people can understand how great a guy you are.
Well, thanks. Good morning, Zale, and thanks for having me on. So basically, my name is Joe Swartz. I am the Vice President of AmHydro, also known as American Hydroponics. We are a global controlled environment agricultural company. We basically build and design controlled environment ag growing systems and solutions all over the world. And basically, my background is I've been a fourth generation family farmer. I have a small farm here in my home in Western Massachusetts. About 36 years ago now, incorporated controlled environment agriculture into my commercial production, and really have been expanding that and developing that ever since. I mean, we have a lot of challenges in the agricultural systems and the food production world, and so we use controlled environment agriculture to address some of those problems.
So what are some of the problems that you're trying to solve, like specifically in sustainable problems?
Sure. Well, I mean, basically our population is increasing and more moving toward urban centers. So our population is getting bigger and more concentrated. And at the same time, most of our food production has been concentrated in areas far away from that. And of course, that has created a number of challenges, both from an environmental standpoint as well as an economic standpoint. And there's a dramatic need now to be able to move some of our food production back close to urban areas or close to where it's consumed. It's also important, based on transportation and logistical issues, to be able to lower our environmental impact and lower the cost on transportation. So all of those factors push us for the need, or to the need for more localized food systems. Unfortunately, in most areas of the world, these population centers are not, in terms of climate, not usually hospitable to large-scale agricultural production. So, we had to have different weather and seasonal issues that we have to deal with. So with controlled environment agriculture, we can mitigate a lot of that. We can put a farm, and we have in New York City. We have them in the Middle East where it's very hot, in tropical regions where it's very hot and very humid. So we can take the controlled environment ag technologies and we can put them in specific areas where the production is needed. So again, we address a number of different issues in terms of high quality food, where it's consumed, lowering the carbon footprint of transportation and production, lowering the expenses related to that. So controlled environment ag kind of really helps us kind of encapsulate that and put our high quality production back where it's really needed.
So Joe, my next question is how are you solving it? But I'd like you to use, I tell you, Susie, who is a great impact investor and wants to make the world a better place, has no clue what the words controlled agriculture environment means in English. So how about telling us how you solve it? But use like English words so like Susie will get and understand what you're talking about.
Sure. So our agricultural production, ever since we stopped being hunter-gatherers, we started using different techniques to allow us to grow more food and better food. And normally, and this is kind of why a lot of our food production has been now pushed to areas far away from where it's consumed, because most of the food production really on a large scale has been pushed to areas where the climate is more favorable for farm production. Obviously, most plants have slightly different requirements, but in general, they have certain light and temperature and nutritional requirements. And so in a lot of areas, particularly in urban areas where we need the food, we don't have those things. Here in Western Massachusetts, one of the things that pushed me into controlled environment agriculture was my dad was a potato farmer. And we had a very limited growing season, about 120 days. And so you're trying to cram as much production as you can into a very short period of time. and seasonal weather patterns also will impact that. We have a very wet year or a cold year or a hot year that impacts the overall quality of the food as well as the economics. So controlled environment agriculture allows us. So what we do is we now start changing some of the inputs. Temperature, we build greenhouses or we grow indoors where we can control the climate much better. So we can adjust the temperature, lighting levels, relative humidity, vapor pressure deficit, carbon dioxide, all of those things.
I'm going to interrupt you, Joe. Make it simple so that Susie understands. Just draw a picture for her, a verbal picture.
All right. So, Susie, basically it is too cold outside to be growing lettuce outdoors in Massachusetts today. So outside in my greenhouse where it's nice and warm and it is sunny and the plants are growing in a very, very hospitable environment. And this allows me to grow much higher quality food and in a much more economically and environmentally sustainable way.
Beautiful. Thank you. That was great. All right, my last question. What does success look like to you?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, this isn't actually my last question. What does success look like for you?
Oh, okay. So, well, success really for us is the success of our growers. We help either by providing technology, providing information. We do a lot of grower training. Is our growers are successful. We have successful farms in 66 countries around the world. We have over 230 farms, commercial farms right here in the United States alone. And when our farmers make money, when they expand, when they put high quality local food into their communities, that's what we consider success. So basically, when our growers are making money and enhancing their community with good high quality food, giving access to quality food that was previously unattainable, that's where we see our greatest success. And we always say to our growers that our success comes from your success.
This is terrific. Okay, so my last question, and now this is because we interacted so often on LinkedIn. Can you describe one of your coolest projects that Susie would think is really very cool?
Probably, yeah, one of the coolest, I think I just posted about it recently, was we did back in 2010, I did a rooftop farm project. We basically put a rooftop farm, a commercial hydroponic rooftop farm on top of an 8-story residential building going up in the South Bronx. Now, this is an area where they hadn't seen fresh food in years, and we built it on top of a building. There were a lot of synergies between the building and the greenhouse, so the heat from the building, for example, was helping to heat our greenhouses. We were helping keeping the building cool. People that lived in the building had access to fresh local food. We always talk about food miles. This is 0 food miles. Your food is grown up on the roof. And it was a real exciting project. We took 7 people from the neighborhood who had never seen a head of lettuce growing in their life, and we turned them into urban farmers. And most of them are still working in the industry today and being very successful. And that's another thing with the controlled environment ag projects. There are many positives, many different benefits, and one of them as well is kind of economic opportunities. We have entry-level agriculture, the green jobs, if you will, that provide people with not only living wage jobs, but jobs that help them move up into other careers, whether it's food safety, environmental management, nutrition, what have you. So it's really not only environmental benefits and economic benefits to the grower, but great benefits to the community. And that project really kind of allowed us to hit all of those buttons at one time. It was a lot of fun, very exciting, and I'm very proud of it.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it, Zale. Thanks so much, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Great. Hi there. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'd like you to leave a suggestion down there, how I can improve. Be nice, be kind, because I'm a very sensitive individual. And I'd like you to subscribe over there, please. And if you want to see more videos on the same topic, it's over here. Great. Thank you. Take care. Bye.